Do you ever see those players running around the hub boasting a mighty level 23? Yet they're holding an item in the hand that's worth more than your entire life. They use said weapon and see that they deal damage that could be achievable by waving a feather over somebody's face. Well, this video is for that person. It's not actually. It could be quite helpful for a lot of people. Now, what I'm really getting at is there are a lot of early game players that believe that weaponry and armory is what basically makes you deal a lot of damage. While that is true, there's way more components to dealing damage, and there's way more important components that are going to help you boost your overall profile. When I first started playing Hypixel Skyblock, the accessory or talisman setup was completely different to how it is today. But the premise is the same. The more accessories you have, the higher rarity they are. Basically, the more buffs that you're going to receive from that said magical power and the Reforged Stone. Or should I say Power Stone. So many players neglect the accessories and wonder why they don't deal a lot of damage. So today I'm going to demonstrate the power of magical power. So first of all, we're going to purchase a really pretty cheap weapon. That's going to be a Livid Dagger, and it's going to set us back around about 8 million coins. The setup that I'm going to use is just an Ender set, which is all reforged to Fierce. We're going to use the Hurtful Power Stone. Okay, so we've taken our magical power all the way down to 255. We're now going to damage test. We don't even have a pet on, we just simply have the magical power, the armor, and the weapon. And we're going to deal 91k damage. Now, that's just going to be our base damage. We're now in the end. And the damage that we deal in the end is going to be 129k. Of course, the Ender Armor is buffing that. But okay, so we've got relatively low magical power. And with this weapon, we deal pretty low damage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to gradually increase my magical power just to show how much of a difference magical power really makes. But before I go ahead and do that, make sure to use code NITROS if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store. It gets yourself 5% off. Also, you should subscribe to the channel, it does help out a lot. And finally, you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. Anyway, we've increased our magical power up to 477. Now you'll notice as our magical power goes up, our buff from our Power Stone increases, and that's what increases the damage. For example, we now have plus 85 strength and plus 340 crit damage, and that was considerably lower when we were around about 250 magical power. You also get more tuning points to spend as well, as you'll notice at the bottom. Anyway, prior to increasing our magical power, we dealt around about 91,000 damage to these hub zombies, and now we deal 126k. So just increasing our magical power by around about 200, we're already dealing that much more damage. If we then go to the end, we were dealing about 129k damage to these Endermen, and now we're dealing 172k, a considerable increase considering we don't have a pet on, and all we've done is simply gain 200 magical power. Anyway, we've now increased our magical power to 857, as you can see once again. Our tuning points have increased, the buff that we've got from that's increased, and our regular buffs that we've got from the Hurtful Power Stone have also increased, now getting 132 strength and 552 crit damage. If we now damage test with our Livid Dagger, we're dealing around about 180k damage, which once again is considerably better. And if we go to the end, we're now dealing nearly 240k, which once again is way more damage. Anyway, we've now put all of our accessories back in our accessory bag, and we now have just shy of 1.2k magical power. As you can see, just from our tuning points alone, we're getting almost 120 crit damage, and just from the base Power Stone buffs, we're getting plus 176 strength and plus 704 crit damage. If we test our damage against these hub zombies once again, we now deal 226k, which is a crazy increase from what we dealt in the first place with very low magical power, which was 91k. And against the Enderman in the end, we're dealing almost 300k damage. And that is the power of magical power, it is crazy. And for instance now, if I put an actual good pet on, like a level 200 G-Drag, and we've got this Crimson set on, we hold our Livid Dagger and we take a look at our stats. So, we have 1,317 strength and 1,351 crit damage. Now, of those stats that we have, just from our accessories alone, we're getting plus 176 strength and plus 823 crit damage, which is crazy. More than half of the crit damage that we have with this setup, we get from accessories. And understandably, if you take that buff away, you're going to be doing way less damage. Now, if you are somebody that is struggling with magical power, then I've got a couple of suggestions. In terms of accessories, if you just don't know what to go for, you can go over to the Skyblock leveling menu, go over to this Skyblock guide, and it will go all the way to starter, and then find accessories and just work your way through. Try to get as many of these accessories as you possibly can. Once you've got as many as you can in the starter section, move on to amateur and do the same again. Get as many accessories that you can in this section and then just move on. I promise you that will skyrocket your magical power and will just make you way stronger in the game. Do not underestimate the power of magical power. As I've shown, you just really need to invest into it, whether it's money or time. Alternatively, you can head over to my Discord server. It's linked in the description of this video. Head over to the bot commands channel and run the command /missing. I can type /missing and then you go to your name, which is your Minecraft IGN. So I'll put my Minecraft IGN and simply press enter once I've selected the right name. That will then basically give you a guide on the cheapest accessories that you can possibly buy, and it'll give you the price per magical power. Honestly, the Skyblock guide is useful enough when you're basically just trying to get magical power relatively early game. Of course, then when you get further into late game, accessories become more expensive, and that's when the /missing command in the Discord server is very, very useful. If you're ever wondering if it's worth it to invest in accessories, if we take a look at my net worth here, it's almost 12 billion coins. And out of those 12 billion coins, almost 3.5 billion coins are in my accessory bag. Now, at the end of the day, if you make a 600 million coin purchase for an accessory and you become short of money in the future, then, I mean, if worse comes to worse, you can just sell it. Of course, I wouldn't recommend investing this many coins into accessories if you don't probably have like a Hyperion and Terminator. To be honest, I've probably invested too much of my net worth into it. Like, I could probably get away with maybe selling, well, these top 3 accessories, lose what, like maybe 60 magical power, but gain over 1 billion coins. I don't know. But I just think that sometimes it can be hard to visualize just how important accessories are. And you shouldn't skimp. You should invest time and you should invest money, and you will see results. 9 times out of 10, where you think you have good gear, a good weapon, and a good pet, but just don't understand why more people are out damaging you, it's probably going to be down to your accessories. And if it's not your accessories, you never know. It could just be a skill issue. I would know. I appreciate this video was probably just targeted at early game players, but hopefully I've enjoyed and maybe it's helped you. If you did enjoy, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.